So anytime we have any feeling, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. There is a belief that we have that's keeping us in this feeling. So, for example, this might not be true for you, but for me, it was true that when I wanted to approach a woman or a girl or whatever you want to call it, when I was in high school or in my young 20s, the reason I was afraid is because I felt like they were way smarter than me and I thought I was going to feel and look really stupid. So, in to avoid feeling stupid, I wouldn't approach them. I'm curious, what belief do you have about approaching women that makes it feel scary? What's the
Yeah,
belief that makes it feel scary for you?
I think for me it was like if I approached them, they would eventually find out like who I was back in the day, like that I wasn't proper, that I was like picked on, or whatever. So I think they would eventually find that, or just like they already know that kind of when I'm approaching them, because I mean my body language won't suggest confidence. It'll be if someone put a gun in my head right now and said go do it, it might not be as shaky now, but back then it was, or like weeks ago it would be shaky. And I would assume like even on Tinder like or whatever, I'll see like I like there's no way that person's gonna match with me kind of thing, but. Um, it's kind of like I've been kind of put in this place by other people, and that's kind of like where I'm stuck, kind of thing. So it's like they're gonna know that, and then once they find that out, they won't like me anymore, or they already know that about me. So it's kind of like I
Okay.
see everyone else like it's not just with that, like pretty much with everyone else, like I kind of feel like lower by default. So that's kind of
Okay.
yeah.
So it sounds like to me that you're saying, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that when you think about approaching a woman or a girl to do whatever, to say whatever, just to introduce yourself or whatever you're going to say, what you're thinking about is how they're going to find out about everything from your past, and you're going to feel kind of like less than.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay. So, when you're watching the videos on six human needs, there was that need for significance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In my mind, this has been the easiest way to do this, and I would like you to try it. It's going to sound weird,
Okay.
but
I like it.
all right, cool. So,
Yeah.
perfect. So, what helped me to overcome my fear of approaching anyone, man or woman, didn't matter, but of course, especially women, was keeping in mind that every single person that we meet in life, including myself, has the deepest fear that we are not enough.
Okay.
And because we all have the deepest fear that we're not enough, all of us are walking around in this day to day. Not in this day to day. We're all walking around day to day in this life trying to feel like we're enough. So I'm curious, if you walked up to a girl for whatever the purpose was and you believed that this person in front of you wants to feel as worthy and deserving of attention, and they just want to feel seen as much as you would like to feel seen but not judged, right? Seen and not judged for who they are. And you were only thinking about them and how you can make them feel. How would you feel?
Um,
Let's think about
Maybe
that for a
calm to
second.
some extent. Like I don't have to win them over. I can just kind of be. So I think I've kind of been in that position for a lot of people for a while too. So I think that's like kind of almost like familiar. So I think if I was to walk up to someone, and I think I naturally would able to do that. It's kind of like a calming thing. I don't have to win them over. I just talk to them and kind of reassure them that they're good or whatever the situation is. But yeah, it's a little bit better, especially if I guess at that point I wouldn't be expecting a negative reaction or a negative outburst kind of thing. So if I had to do that, that would be maybe a different story. Mhm.
I love that. So, the first thing that I want you to do, just like we talked about previously, is putting yourself in a state where you feel that sense of confidence. So, remember what we did last week, but standing up?
Oh yeah.
You
I
smile
mean,
right away when we said that. I
yeah.
want you to keep staying sitting because I want you to notice that you can do this when you're sitting as much as when you're standing. So
Okay.
put yourself into a confident state with your body right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How do you feel immediately, by the way, right there?
It feels good already. Feels like we're already on our way.
Already on our way. Does this
Yeah.
feel stronger or weaker than this?
Stronger for sure. Yeah, it's
Stronger.
like
Okay,
more
great.
attentive and yeah.
Now, because I want you to notice that you can feel as strong and as confident as you want without needing to do anything dramatic in public. So, does this, what you're doing right now, the way that you're sitting, does this feel dramatic?
Um, Not really. I mean, maybe like slightly just I don't, you know, you think it's usually used to sitting back like this, but now this feels like good, like I'm attentive kind of thing. It's like right. So
Yep.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
So now I want you to think of something that you would say out loud that would make you feel strong. So like say something out loud with a bit of strength in your tone that makes you feel strong.
Mm.
For me,
That's
I
really
would
good.
just be like, for me, it'd be like, yes, what is it for you?
I guess like a fuck yeah, like a just a yeah, yeah, that feel natural. I guess just a yeah for me as well. It's like awesome, right on.
Which one,
Yeah.
which one, which one feels more natural to you? The yeah and the awesome or the fuck yeah?
Uh yeah. Awesome or yeah, I guess yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, feels
Yeah.
more okay, great. Because I just want you to know there's no filtering here.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want whatever feels natural. Because if it was like fuck yeah, then that's what it
Yeah.
is. All right,
Yeah.
whatever feels natural. So it's like yeah, perfect. I want you in your head, not out loud, just in your head. I want you to hear yourself go yeah. How does that feel?
Feels normal, feels good. Yeah.
Good.
Feels right. Yeah.
Do it again, but do it 5 times. Go yeah, yeah in your head 5 times strong. Go ahead. Maintain that posture. Good.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Feel good. It felt like good. Yeah. Good.
Let
Yeah.
the So here's now what I want you to do. You're going to close your eyes in a moment, not yet. You're going to close your eyes and do that again. But then I want you to imagine approaching whoever the girl is, but all you're going to think about as you're approaching them in your mind is just thinking about how they're doing. Nothing to do with you or winning them over or what you even might look like or sound like. Just like, oh, how's their day going? And you're sincerely curious. So close your eyes. Say it in your head 5 times with strength. Good. And then when you're done, walk up to her and just be sincerely curious how her day is going. And that's all that you want to know. That's all you're curious to know. That's all you're thinking about. And while you're there, I want you to stay there in your mind next to this girl. And I want you to notice thinking about only how she's feeling and what might be going on in her day. Keep your eyes closed and tell me, how do you feel?
Feels like good. It feels like calmness and like I can't think of the word right now, but it's just like calming, but it's like even more than calming. It's like just I want to say natural, but it's like there's no anger. It's just like I guess peaceful to some extent. Even peaceful doesn't feel like the best word. It's like even more than that, but it's just like gentle, I guess. I don't even know.
I love
But it's
that.
good.
Good, good. Now, just so you keep your eyes closed, just so you have a bit of a contrast, I want you, as you're sitting or standing next to this girl, I want you to change what you're thinking about to what she might be thinking of you and how you might not be enough. I just want you to notice that feeling. Notice her like looking at you and like looking you up and down, kind of noticing like what might be wrong with you, whatever the thought might be. How does that feel?
It feels like not like there's a slight bit of anxiety, but it's not like the way that I'm picturing her, I've seen this on girls' faces before, so I know how it used to be, but it's like significantly not even close to like the level. It's like kind of anxious, but it's kind of like it's not that big of a deal anymore. It's a bit awkward, but it's not that anymore.
Okay, good, good. So now change your thinking to again what's going on in her day. Just feel that out. You're looking at her, you're just wondering how she's doing. Tell me how you feel.
It goes back to that first feeling of like good and everything's like at
Good,
peace kind of. Yeah.
good. So now open your eyes for a second. I want you to notice two things. Number one, that is the power of when you are physically just like not exaggerating like this, but you're physically just like you're feeling good in your body, like you're in a posture that feels strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Natural. It's not like overdone like this. It's just a natural, strong posture. And that's the power of that. And secondly, focusing on what's going on with the person in front of you, not in our head.
Okay.
And I want you to notice, think back to you being in the elevators with the girls over the week. In order, because you felt good, I want you to notice what were you thinking about then? Was it on yourself or was it something external to do with them?
So I think there was a bit more. there might have been more security because I was with someone that I like in the elevator that I knew kind of thing. Like she was kind of guiding me through like where I had to go. So that we were already kind of talking before that a bit. So it was like I already gotten past the driving to Toronto part and I was now there. So I was a bit more like relaxed. So I think that might have contributed to it. If I was in like in the elevator alone, just us three, because I don't really know the whole system either of the apartment, it might have been totally different. But because I was being led by someone else, I think that's what kind of gave me a bit more security there.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah,
But even then, I want you to imagine that you weren't being led
hmm.
and think about what you were thinking about in the elevator with them. Were you thinking about how she thinks that you look or how you're coming across? Or were you just thinking about where you were going?
Yeah. So if I was like alone, I think I think it would be. Yeah, definitely there's more of a risk of embarrassment at that point, I think. That's what I think one of the things would come down to, but I think I definitely would have gone back to, what are they thinking kind of thing, but maybe just for that, not just as to what I'm doing, not necessarily, how I look or anything like that. But yeah, I think even at that point it would have been like almost actually no, I think yeah, just because they were attractive. If it was somebody else, maybe not, I wouldn't have cared as much, but there was definitely when they were there, it was definitely there's more of a risk of embarrassment in that situation. So I think that's if I was alone, that is. But so
Okay. So here's what I'm going to have you do this week. And it's the same thing that I would do with any client in any situation. The only thing is, we're going to direct it to the challenges that you are facing, or the fears, rather. What we're going to have you do is start with someone who it could either be a man or a woman that you don't personally find attractive. Okay? We're just going to go up to them, and whether we're asking them if they need help or whether we're just asking them literally how their day is going in passing, we're going to make it very simple, but you're going to be focusing on them and what they need or just how their day is going. And I want you to message me over because we're going to do this at rapid pace. I want you to message me how that felt. Then what you're going to do is that exact same thing, asking them how their day is going or asking if they need any help with anything, but to a woman that you find a little bit more attractive. Not fully, but a little bit. And all we're going to do is we're conditioning your nervous system to feel more and more comfortable approaching anyone that you want to approach. The goal is not to get anyone's phone number, any Instagram. I mean, if that happens, I mean,
yeah, yeah,
but your actual outcome is strictly to get into the habit of focusing on what's going on outside of you in the person in front of you. Because when you do that, you could talk to one person, you could talk to a million at once. You could talk to one attractive woman, you could talk to a million attractive women at once. When our focus and our thoughts is just on the person in front of us, what they need, what's going on, and we're just really seeing them, all of our fears go away.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah.
So we're going to start by picking either a man and or just a woman that you don't find overly attractive.
Hmm.
And I say that, by the way, because the more attractive someone is, the more naturally uncomfortable and nervous any of us get. That's just human nature. So we're going to start with someone who's less attractive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it doesn't even need to be day by day. It could be literally be a couple times that day if you have the opportunity for it. Go to someone who's a little bit more attractive to you, and then we're going to go up that scale, maintaining our state, focusing on them, and a very brief thing. How's your day going? Tell me about it. You know, oh, it's been
Okay.
good. That's awesome. Well, I gotta go, but it was good. It was good catching up with you real quick. We're gonna
Yeah,
make it very brief, very simple.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So